Here we go. Here's my last video. Again, back at y'all. Regular Ravens fan. Why trust your eyes? Always trust your eyes. This is the last video in the Lamar Jackson haters category. Because finally we got people on national TV, ex-NFL players, speaking the truth. You're going to have Rob Ninkovich, who's the guy on your left. Marcus Spears, who's the guy on your right. I want to start off by saying I respect both of these gentlemen's perspective. And I respect what they both have to say. We're going to play the tape. I want everybody who's been rocking with me to remember the things that I've been saying about Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes. And now we're going to run the roll of tape.
Tomorrow is now today, and let's see if it will be fun. So here we have these two dear friends who clearly have a disagreement. So the other day, you saw it there, Rob Ninkovich suggested that if you flip-flop Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, contrary to conventional wisdom, it would be Mahomes and not Jackson who would struggle. Marcus, what's your reaction to that?
First of all, I don't know what to say. I think Rob did this because he know me and he know that I'm gonna lose my mind when people say things like that. First of all, Rob, let's go football, right? We would not see the same offense in Baltimore if Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback. So it ain't as simple as flip-flopping them.
I just got to start off by saying that goes to my point. I've been telling you all for a long time that the haters would tell you on national TV, well, Lamar Jackson can only throw the ball because he can run. You know, it's his running that makes it so that he can throw the ball. And I've argued, rightly so, that every single quarterback that's ever played in the NFL has a scheme specifically designed for that quarterback's unique skill set. Lamar Jackson happens to be great at running the ball. Why would any coach say, well, you're so great at that, don't do it, though, because nobody wants you to do it? No, he does it well. He does it great. It's one of his attributes. It's not a negative. It's an attribute that leads to his success. Just like Spears just said, if you flip-flop them, the offenses would be different. They wouldn't run the same offense in Baltimore. Well, they wouldn't run the same offense for Patrick Mahomes, period, that they run for Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson can do things that Pat Mahomes can't do. I don't believe that there's anything Pat Mahomes can do that Lamar Jackson can't do outside of, I do believe that Pat Mahomes is a more accurate passer. I believe that Patrick Mahomes has a stronger arm. Those things are true, and I believe them, but I don't believe that he can do anything that Lamar can't do. I think Lamar is accurate enough to complete passes. I think Lamar's arm is strong enough to throw deep. I just think that Pat Mahomes may be better at it, but Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes can run, but Lamar Jackson can run on a whole nother level. You know, the one that Patrick Mahomes can't even think about doing. But again, we're going to keep rolling tape because they're going to prove everything I've been saying to y'all about Lamar Jackson in this one video.
And the same things are happening. I don't think Lamar Jackson would struggle at all in Kansas City's offense or if Andy Reid created something around him. But Lamar Jackson don't need his legs in Kansas City offense as much as he needs in the Ravens offense. And what Greg has done over there, I have no idea, okay? After watching 2 years of what Patrick Mahomes has done and 2 years of Lamar Jackson has done, you cannot say these guys can flip-flop and be the same player. Patrick Mahomes is a different animal throwing the ball. He is far ahead of Lamar Jackson when it comes to that. You can give me stats, you can give me numbers, all of that. When we watch Patrick Mahomes throw the football, it's on a level unlike we've ever seen. That does not mean Lamar can't throw the football. And vice versa. When Lamar takes off and runs, there has never been a Lamar Jackson ever athletically at the quarterback position. But
I'm going to stop the tape right there because, like I said, I respect both of these guys. And Marcus Spears, I respect your opinion. I truly do. And I hear what you're saying. I don't agree with it totally, but I agree with it somewhat. He just said he articulated what I was just now trying to say. You know, Pat Mahomes is a better passer of the ball than Lamar Jackson. But that doesn't mean that Lamar Jackson can't pass the ball. And that's what I've been trying to say to people. But Lamar Jackson is a better runner than Patrick Mahomes. That doesn't mean Pat can't run. It just means that Lamar Jackson runs it better. So nobody tells Pat Mahomes not to throw. Why would you tell Lamar Jackson not to run? Nobody says that Pat Mahomes can only run the ball because it's his deep ball and his arm. But we say that Lamar Jackson can only throw because he can run. It's all BS. and it's all hate. So I'm calling out the ones that hate. Not these two guys, but these two guys are going to prove what I've been saying. Because I've been saying for a long time now, Pat Mahomes' greatness is directly tied to the skill position players around him. The speed at every single position around him is what allows him to do what he does. Lamar Jackson does what he does because of him. Lamar Jackson's ability allow a Willie Snead to get a $6 million contract. They allow the offensive linemen to look great. They allow the running backs to get better holes and better running because you got to kind of stand flat-footed worried about if Lamar's going to keep it or not. So Lamar Jackson opens up the games for other players around him, i.e. making players better around you, which is what a great quarterback is supposed to do. Pat Mahomes, to me, in my opinion, he needs or has to rely upon that speed to scare a defense off. Because he has speed at all of the wide receiver positions and the tight end position, what it does is it gives him easy throws. It gives him man-to-man coverage. You're not doubling anybody. You have to pick your spots when you want to double Tyreek Hill. But you can't just say you can't have a game plan and say we're just going to double Tyreek Hill and take him out the game, because then the other guys, if you give them man-to-man with their speed, they'll beat you. Pat Mahomes is tied to that, which may be a reason why he took the contract he took, so that his team can have money, because he knows I got to keep these guys around me. Maybe that's why he took that contract, which everybody knows he could have gotten more money if he'd have done shorter deals, but it would have ate the cap up more, meaning some of those other guys got to go. Maybe Pat Mahomes knew that. But Lamar Jackson doesn't need anybody. Guys need him.
Flip-flopping those guys, Rob. You out of your damn mind.
Go ahead, Nikovich.
Now the truth.
Marcus, is Kansas City's offensive skill position better? True, false? Is Kansas City's offensive skill positions better than the Ravens? Yes. Would Lamar Jackson excel with the offensive weapons in Kansas City? Would Lamar? Yes, he would. Now, if you take Pat Mahomes and put him with the Ravens, would they have the same offense? No, they'd have a different offense. But would he have the same weapons to throw to that he has in Kansas City? He doesn't have Tyreek Hill with the Ravens. He doesn't have Travis Kelce with the Ravens. So what I'm saying, in Kansas City, if you put a quarterback like Lamar who can move in the pocket, can get out of trouble and throw the ball down the field, because let's not get it twisted now, he can throw the football, and I think this year he's going to throw the ball down the field even more and be even smarter in the pocket and get out of situations.
And there you have it. There you have it right there. This is what I've been trying to say, which is why I despise those haters in the media. I despise the Stephen A. Smith for what he says about Lamar. I despise a lot of the other people, but namely Stephen A. Smith. But there's a lot of other people too. But there you have it. Don't get it twisted. Lamar Jackson can throw. These guys on TV, typically, they want to paint a picture to you like, oh, Lamar Jackson can't throw, as if the guy's out here throwing wobbly ducks all over the field. It's not true. Go watch the tape. That's why I say trust your eyes. Go put on the tape and watch Lamar Jackson actually play. Don't look at his stat line, because stat lines are misleading. Because he can have a stat line where he says he only threw for 150 yards and he ran for 125 yards. And if you didn't watch the game and you didn't see the concept of the plays and how he dominated the game, you'll have no idea. You'll think, oh, he can't throw, because people are saying it on TV. His stats don't really back it up. But he is dominating a game. 125 yards rushing and 150 yards passing. We're going along with 3 to 4 touchdowns. That's 275 yards of offense that you produced, that you had a hand in producing. If a conventional quarterback has a stat line where he threw for 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, we would say that's a great game. But when Lamar Jackson has 125 yards rushing, 150 yards passing with 4 touchdowns, people want to knock him as if it's something bad. No, it's not. It's something great. It means that he's doing something. All these other quarterbacks are trying to be like somebody else. Lamar is trying to be like Lamar. You know, I've said this before. Pat Mahomes has not done anything in this league as of yet that hasn't been done. Quarterbacks have thrown 50 touchdowns. Quarterbacks have thrown for 4,000 yards. And for people who say, well, Pat Mahomes did it in his second year, go look at Dan Marino and see what Dan Marino did in his first and second year. It's been done before. But what Lamar Jackson did last year, no player in NFL history ever did. And my problem is because these guys come on TV and they act as if this guy is some, some gimmick player. Lamar Jackson isn't a gimmick player. I got a feeling you all gonna see when his top 100 comes out what his co-workers, so to speak, the other players in the NFL, what they think about him. Let's see if they have Lamar Jackson ranked in the top 100 players or not. Because they know, they out there playing against them and with them. But you just heard Rob Ninkovich say it. Don't get it twisted. Lamar Jackson can throw. And Pat Mahomes has all of those weapons. If you gave Lamar Jackson those weapons, he'd be lethal. And I believe what Rob Ninkovich is alluding to when he says he thinks this year Lamar's going to throw it even better is because the Ravens are starting to draft and starting to go after those players that have that speed, that can get open right now. They're trying to give Lamar what Pat has, so then we can see. When all things are equal, we're going to be able to see. Because Devin Duvernay can fly. Hollywood can fly. Remember, Hollywood had a screw in his foot last year. Hollywood can fly. Miles Boykins has great straight line speed, but he's a big body target. You've already got your tight end. You got Mark Andrews, who's going to dominate the middle of the field. And then you add in James Prochet, who's a technician in route running. And he has some speed too. He's not a speed demon, but he has good enough. So he has more speed than Willie Snead. But Willie Snead can block. So we're going to see this year what Lamar Jackson does throwing the ball. It's going to be even better than last year. But you just heard it. That's finally somebody on TV has said it.
With his legs and throw the ball down the field. So what I said was, look, if we switch these guys, and we put this quarterback, we put Pat Mahomes on the Ravens, and you take Lamar, you put him with Kansas City, that I think Lamar would take those weapons in Kansas City and be the MVP 2 times in a row. That's what I think.
Final words, Marcus.
Quick question. Do you think Patrick Mahomes in that offense with the Ravens lose to the Titans last year?
Oh, I love this one. Watch this answer. Watch this answer.
Yeah, because the Titans were running the football all over them. So, yeah.
Oh, there you go. And that's what I've been talking about, because that's the last point which the media, the national media in general, wants to paint when it comes to Lamar Jackson. Oh, he lost to the Titans, as if it wasn't a team game. Oh, he didn't play well against the Titans, as if 500 yards of production isn't playing well. But nobody on national TV, outside of Rob Ninkovich just now, has come out and said, well, guys, what about Derrick Henry? That's why he just answered that question. Would Pat Mahomes, because they try to say to Pat Mahomes, he wouldn't have lost to Tennessee because his team beat Tennessee. Well, Derrick Henry didn't have over 200 yards rushing against the Chiefs. He had over 200 yards rushing against the Baltimore Ravens, and we want to blame Lamar Jackson for that loss. How does that work? When the Ravens have been beating up these teams with running the ball all over them, they didn't blame the other team's quarterbacks for losing. They said the Ravens were just running the ball all over them. But when Tennessee ran the ball against us, the Ravens, people said Lamar Jackson is the reason we lost. The national media, I'm saying. Stop listening to these guys, man. If you're a fan of football, I know my Ravens fans already know, but if you're a fan of football in general, start watching, man. Don't listen to these guys. Put on the game, watch the game, and watch what these people really do on this field. Because these guys these fake narrative creators in the national media, they have agendas. And they got certain players that they want to promote because they've already promoted them. And they got certain players that they want to hate on because they hated on them originally. If you really go all the way back, at first they said Lamar Jackson, he's not even an NFL quarterback. He needs to switch positions. He didn't do that. He killed that noise. But then when he came out, his rookie year was a little rocky with him throwing the ball because he wasn't ready yet. He wasn't ready. But don't forget, Pat Mahomes sat out his entire first year. Lamar Jackson only sat out halfway through. Got thrown to the Wolves, and he excelled. Lost 1 regular season game as a starter in his first year, and lost 2 regular season games as a starter in his second year. He's excelled ever since he's been a starting quarterback. But the national media wanted to pick him apart because of their original assessment of him coming out of college. That's the reason why they say the things they say about Lamar. Not because it's true, because they have an agenda, because they don't want to look foolish and stupid, because they know that half of the country, well, not even half, I'd say 3/4 of the country, if you're not on the East Coast, you don't get to see Lamar Jackson play every single game. But I'm so glad that this video was put out there. I'm so glad that I've had the privilege to bring it to you all. All of you all have been rocking with me. Let's start putting this truth out there, man. Finally, some guys in the media is having enough of it too. But we're going to go all the way with this thing. And this year in 2020, the Ravens will win the Super Bowl because we're getting speed now everywhere. And speed kills. You can't coach it. There's nothing you can do about it but respect it. And that's why the Chiefs have success. I keep telling people, when Pat Mahomes went out last year and Matt Moore came in, Chiefs still put up 30 points a game. Still. And they lost it. Yeah, they lost some games. They lost to Tennessee because of a blocked field goal at the end of the game. Still scored 30 points. So let's just keep it real, man. Shout out to Lamar Jackson. Shout out to my Ravens fans. We're going to keep it coming. And if they keep hating, then I'm going to have to keep making videos. But I'm going to shut them down. We're going to all shut them down. Ravens for life. Ravens Nation. I'm out of here.